You're listening to Murder Not Murdering with Erin,
And Autumn,
a true crime podcast about murder and murdering.
but we are not murderers.
All right, everybody. We are back with another episode of Murder Not Murdering with Erin.
And Autumn.
So it's been a second.
Yes. And I feel like we're always saying that.
We are. But the good news is we're going to be much more consistent now.
Yes.
We had some big life changes lately. Recently, my dad passed away. So, as we were transitioning into all of that, it's been a lot. And I think that now that things have kind of settled down a little bit, I'm fully ready and committed.
Yes, this is such a great distraction. We really love diving into these cases, and it'll just be something that we can look forward to every week.
Yes. And always feel free to write into or slide into our DMs on Instagram at Murder Not Murdering, because we love to hear from you and we love finding new cases or cases that maybe you are connected to in some way, unless you're like a murderer. And then I suppose we'll go to prison and record you.
Yeah, we'll interview you from prison. But if you're like a secret killer, please don't slide into our DMs.
No, I'd
It's
rather
not that kind of podcast.
I did want to give a big shout out to my friend Tony, who is a bartender and server at my restaurant, Boo Ho, in White Center. And he is the one that gave me my story for tonight. So I just love that randomly people do come up to me and like, have I got a murder for you? And guess what, Erin? It's a dismemberment.
I mean, those are right up your alley. Anytime I even come across them. And we've done so many cases now that even sometimes I forget ones we've done already and I send them to her.
It's, you know what it is though, is because I do tend to do the older crimes. That's how they got rid of a body.
Yes.
So often, because
they got down and dirty.
No forensics. What do? You just chop them up and put them in different places, Another big thing that happened to both of us recently is we both did a big chop.
Oh, I was like, where's this going?
Yeah. I want to give another shout out. I don't know why I'm like name dropping today or something.
You're like plugging all these people.
I know. Well, no, because we both chopped off like a significant amount of hair.
This is very true.
My hair was super long and I cut off about 8 inches. And my stylist, Stephanie Hazard, not related to Linda Hazard, one of our earlier episodes, in Washington's first lady serial killer that we are aware of.
Yes.
But her place is in Linwood. It's called Studio S. If you live out there, go and see her. She has been cutting my hair since puberty to perimenopause.
Love that. And let me just say that my hair, I have like a weird thing about cutting my hair. I have anxiety around it, always have. Well, the other day I was in the shower and it just was bothering me. It was past my butt and I'm like stressed out. I didn't want anything else touching me. I get out of the shower, I go to Dustin and I'm like, I need you to cut my hair. And the weird part was he didn't even question it. He was like, okay. And I hand him some scissors and he goes, no. I got better scissors for this. He goes into his little office, pulls out these like industrial scissors and he cuts off like two inches. And I'm like, no. That's nothing. I need you to cut more. And he was like, okay. And he cut 6 more off. So a total of 8 inches.
Yeah, that's exactly how much I did too.
It's wild. My hair is still so insanely long. You can't really tell, but it feels so much better for me. It's not getting in my armpits and stuff.
I also feel like, with everything happening in the world right now and in our country specifically, the way women usually manifest things or changes in their life are to cut your hair.
True. Well, I I hadn't cut it in 3 years.
And again, big shout out to your hairstylist,
I
Dustin.
know. My mom, when I told her, well, anyone that I was telling that I was doing, were all very shocked and actually kind of worried, but I wasn't stressed. My mom goes, I just want to make sure you're still talking to Dustin.
Well, you know what the thing is though, is so often guys cut their own hair.
Yes.
You know,
He's never done that.
Josh cuts his own hair all the time. So I
Dustin has
just
a
assume,
stylist in Linwood that he sees every month, and she
oh,
cuts his hair and she straight razors.
oh, wow. That's old school.
Mhm.
I love
Shout out
that.
to Beth.
Woo woo.
I think she listens to this podcast too.
Even better. All the shout outs today.
Sorry, Beth, I let Dustin cut my hair. I'm really sorry.
Wow. At least you guys, we didn't Brittany 2007.
No,
So
I think
we're
everyone thought I
winning.
shaved it, but he actually did a really good job. It was straight, and I mean, it just
Yeah,
needed to happen. It needed to happen.
totally. Totally. Who's going first?
I'll go first. Mine's short.
Mine's a little short too, so it'll be a nice little episode. Okay, I'm ready. And go.
So I'm going to be doing a case that I have been following for a while. And I thought, hey, now's as good a time as any to talk about it. So I'm going to be doing the disappearance of Jennifer Keese.
Wait, that's the one I'm doing.
Are you being serious?
No.
Oh. I was going to say that's unusual because this isn't that strange. And you told me yours was really good.
That would be amazing.
Honestly, it would be. I'd be like, okay, double episode.
We'll see
Takes
whose
from
facts
both
are
sides.
my facts are better.
Probably. Yours are probably better. You
No.
dig deep.
I do dig deep.
Okay. So let me get started on mine. The real one, Jennifer Keese. Jennifer Joyce Keese was born in New Jersey on May 20th, 1981. She moved to Orlando in 2004 after landing a great job in the finance industry at a company called Central Florida Investments as a finance manager. She quickly settled into her new life. She bought her own condo in the Mosaic at Millennia, a vibrant upscale complex in the heart of the city. This was a big milestone in her life. Jennifer was smart, independent, and well liked by everyone who knew her. She had a boyfriend, a great group of friends, and a supportive family. This was a woman full of life with an incredible future ahead of her. But on the morning of January 24th, 2006, everything changed. It was a Tuesday, and Jennifer had plans to meet up with her boyfriend Robert after work. They had just returned from a trip together in St. Croix on Sunday, and she had spent the night at his home the last time he saw her. It was the morning of Monday the 23rd when she left for work, and he would never see her again.
No.
Jennifer had failed to arrive at work that morning, Tuesday, January 24th, and for anyone who knew Jennifer, this wasn't like her. She was a creature of habit, someone who kept in close touch with her family and friends. It was totally out of character for her to just not show up to work or to not let anyone know. Her employer reached out to her parents, Joyce and Drew, to let them know she had not come in that morning, and they immediately got in their cars to make their 2-hour drive from Tampa to Orlando to check on their daughter. I would have done the same thing. Like, they did not waste
Absolutely.
any time. They got right in their car.
Yeah, I wouldn't be I would be there
No,
in an
I'd
instant.
be on the way with you.
Yeah.
When they arrived, they noticed her car was missing, but saw nothing out of the ordinary in her home. Her purse, keys, iPod, and cell phone were missing, but there was no indication that a struggle had occurred. Her apartment appeared untouched. They found a wet towel and clothes laid out among other things that suggested that she had showered, dressed, and prepared for work that morning. Jennifer's parents called Robert to see if he had heard from her, but he had not. Drew and Joyce called the police. Investigators arrived quickly, but they were also baffled. There was nothing that seemed out of the ordinary, except for the fact that Jennifer was gone. The next few days brought even more confusion. Investigators found a major piece of evidence: surveillance footage from the apartment complex.
Well, that's good,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
But it showed a figure walking up to Jennifer's car, getting in, and driving it away. The footage was grainy and unclear. The
That's too
person
bad
Mhm.
because you don't know if it was her or her attacker or whomever this person is.
is definitely not her. They could
Oh,
tell that.
okay. Well, then there you go.
The person was wearing dark clothing and was seen walking calmly across the parking lot, like they knew exactly where they were going.
Yeah.
They didn't appear to be in any sort of hurry.
And they knew what car
What
was
car
hers,
it was.
obviously.
Mhm. At first, the police believed this person might have been a random car thief, but over time, it became clear that this was not a simple theft. This was
I would
more,
not think so. She's been missing.
yes.
My natural thought would be like, that's them.
Well, yes, but this is also 2006, so we have to remember that little portion too.
Sure.
This is more than just a stolen vehicle. Whoever took Jennifer knew exactly where her car was parked and how to take it without anyone noticing. Jennifer's family was understandably devastated. Her parents, Drew and Joyce, had spoken to her the night before, as they did every night. She was supposed to be at work that morning. She had plans. This wasn't the kind of woman who would just disappear. The footage of the mysterious figure was released to the public, hoping someone would recognize them. But despite the efforts, the person in the video remained a mystery. And the car? It was found several days later, abandoned just a few miles from the apartment complex. But Jennifer was still nowhere to be found. What makes Jennifer's case even more perplexing is that there were no signs of forced entry into her apartment. Her front door was locked, and it didn't look like someone was robbing her or looking for something specific.
I feel like she clearly knew this person.
I would have to agree. Was Jennifer taken, or did she leave on her own? Could she have been targeted by someone she knew? Someone who might have been watching her? The lack of any forced entry raised questions. Investigators quickly looked into Jennifer's personal life. They spoke to friends, coworkers, and her boyfriend Robert, but no one had any answers. No one could think of anyone who would have wanted to hurt her. She didn't have any known enemies, and her personal relationships seemed stable. At the time of her disappearance, Jennifer's condo complex had been undergoing a major expansion, and many of the laborers on site, according to her family, were non English speaking. Her family recalled Jennifer telling several of them that on several occasions that the construction workers constantly catcalled, whistled at her, and harassed her. Due to the language barrier, investigators were unable to interrogate many of them.
I don't understand that. There's enough people out there that speak other languages. They should have like an interpreter of some nature that they can call in.
They just were not willing to
It's a
speak with
murder
them.
investigation.
What I'm trying to say very tactfully is they were not,
Willing to speak to the cops.
yes,
I mean, that makes sense.
because of residency situations.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I mean, I think a lot of people are weary of talking to the police. And especially, if you are an immigrant, it makes sense.
So there is a private detective that the family has hired, and he has said in regards to this situation that the construction workers were all living, most of them were all living in an empty apartment complex directly across the hall from Jennifer's condo. And they his theory is that she was leaving for work, locked her door, and was taken from the moment she locked her door. So that's why there was no
Yeah.
struggle inside the apartment.
And why they would have her keys.
Why they would have her keys, her purse, her cell phone, and they would know because they've been working there for a while where her car was parked, and they wouldn't be worried about anyone seeing them because they work in the complex and people know who they are.
Yeah, and they're a constant. They're like a daily occurrence of
Yes,
them being there.
exactly. But there's no evidence of this. So clearly that's not something that is out there other than the family and his investigation. It's
Sure.
on their GoFundMe website, and that's where I got that information from. And they're
Okay.
the ones that are that keep saying that because of the language barrier, they were unable to get any further with the construction workers.
Okay.
The law enforcement really hasn't let that out. So I'm not entirely sure how true all of
Related.
that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I also think a lot of times, you know, people really want to find an answer, and sometimes you're just looking anywhere, and
Exactly.
and not necessarily means that it's a credible lead, but
Hmm.
you're just trying to find an answer.
100%. 100%. And another theory that arose was that Jennifer might have been stalked by someone who knew her. The surveillance footage suggested the person who took her car might have been familiar with the complex, perhaps even familiar with Jennifer herself, which also could have been the construction workers across the hall from her.
Yeah, but clearly they were comfortable enough to take their take their time getting into the car and
Hmm.
everything.
Exactly.
You better not be telling me this is unsolved. I swear to God,
You'll
Autumn.
you'll have to find out. It's not done yet. And then there was the issue of the person in the video. Police couldn't identify them, and the footage wasn't clear enough to make out any defining features. It was a dead end. How frustrating is that you have this person on camera
You're so close.
and you're so close,
Just the
but
quality.
the quality and the fact they also were walking near a fence and it was blocking their face.
Yeah, and it's hard because as much as you want to find the answer, with the quality of it and hope that someone recognizes them, but 90% of the time, how do you recognize like a blob of person?
Yes, exactly. And it's so infuriating because you think, oh, there's cameras,
Hmm.
but that doesn't always mean you're going to find the person.
No, or that there's going to be a clear view.
Hmm. But the eeriest part, the figure didn't seem to be rushing. They didn't seem panicked. In fact, they seemed almost comfortable. And that in itself raised even more questions. Was someone who had been watching Jennifer someone who knew her routine? Or was this someone who had been lurking around the complex for days, just waiting for the right moment? As the months turned into years, Jennifer's case grew cold. Her family refused to give up. They've worked tirelessly over the years to keep the case alive, appearing on television shows, speaking with the media, and working with private investigators to uncover new leads. Jennifer's mother, Joyce, has been incredibly vocal, never letting her daughter's name fade from the public memory. And the Kessie family, even now, after almost 2 decades, is still hoping for a breakthrough. We're not going to stop until we have answers. I will never stop looking for Jennifer. We will find out what happened to her, Drew Kessie, Jennifer's father, has said. Despite all the efforts, there were no concrete leads. Over the years, many theories have been put forward. Some believe Jennifer was taken by a stranger, while others suspect someone she knew was involved. Could it have been someone she met through work or through her social circle? A stalker? Someone fixated on her? Another theory is that Jennifer might have been involved in something more complicated, like a drug deal gone wrong or some kind of incident that she wasn't aware of. But to date, no solid evidence has ever come forward to support these ideas.
Oh,
In 2017, the Orlando Police Department did a major update to Jennifer's case, releasing new age progressed photos of what she might look like today. They also released another appeal to the public for any information. But despite all of this, the case remains unsolved.
no.
And even more frustrating, after all these years, the person who took Jennifer Kessie is still out there. The Kessie family continues to fight for justice, and they're determined to find out what happened to their daughter. They believe that someone out there knows something, and that one key piece of information could finally crack the case wide open. If you know anything If you've seen something, heard something, or remember anything at all about the day in January 2006, please reach out to the authorities. The Kessie family deserves answers, and so does Jennifer. My sources were Fox News Investigates, People Magazine, Wikipedia, Cold Case, ID Channel, CBS News, and 48 Hours.
Man, I was really hoping that you were going to be like, and now from DNA from the car, they've connected it to someone or,
They
whatever.
searched the car back in 2006, and there
Mhm.
was no evidence in there of any kind of like,
Hair,
yeah,
like a
or
fingerprint.
even that Jennifer had been killed in the car or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I really think they moved the car to give them time so
Mhm.
that they could it would just seem like Jennifer wasn't there. But I don't
Sure.
think that they were counting on the
Well, the
fact,
fact that it wasn't very far away either. Like it
no.
was dumped.
But I also think that they weren't counting on the fact that Jennifer's parents, who were 2 hours away, would have just the minute she didn't show up to work, they were there and right on the case. I don't think that they were counting on that aspect of the
Sure.
situation. So, but her body has never been found. And honestly, a lot of theories have gone around too about like she could have been sold into the sex trade
Mhm.
or like kidnapped and sold off into that. And, or I mean, who knows what could have happened to her? It's just so sad, and I really hope they
Yeah,
find her.
for sure.
I mean,
Or
how amazing would that be if they found her alive?
that would be incredible. It seems unlikely, but
Yeah,
that
it
would be
does seem quite
incredible.
unlikely. But I
Yeah.
mean, she was so bright, 24 years old, owned her own condo, was a manager. Like, what a bright future she had.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that I feel that theory of the workers next door. It just seems like maybe this was more personal than just catcalling, going from catcalling to a full-on disappearance. It seems odd. Also, the placement of the car that they only just moved it down the road rather than um, driving it for a couple days or putting it, further away or even more well hidden.
hmm Or
I don't
like, why
know.
even move it at all?
I think to bide time. That makes sense. That like if somebody so that she didn't show up to work but her car was gone, you're like, "Oh, she might have gone somewhere." Like it would just take more time up.
Yeah, I could see that. It's just
Yeah.
so sad.
Yeah. And folks, we will have this information on our Instagram account too. So you'll be able to see um that any of the contact information as well as photos of what she looks like and the age progression.
Yes, absolutely.
Alrighty. Well, we're gonna jump right into mine now.
I'm excited to hear yours.
I'm not gonna tell you the title of it because I
Man,
feel like it gives it away a little bit, and I want the shock factor this time.
okay. I'll let
So
that slide.
mine takes place in Australia, and I promise to not do an accent.
Okay, I can't promise I won't.
I hope that at least once you go, or nor.
Oh, oh no.
Exactly.
Got it. I know my part now.
Yeah. All right. We're going to jump right in. So, Australia is known for having deadly creatures. And on April 17th, 1935, in Sydney, Australia, Bert Hobson, a fisherman, hooked a small shark off Coogee Beach. Then all of a sudden, a 14-foot tiger shark bit onto the smaller shark, and the big shark was on the line. The fisherman did not kill the large shark or release it. Instead, he took it to the nearby Coogee Aquarium baths, where it would make a wonderful attraction for the following Anzac Day, which is like our Veterans Day. So, and apparently, Bert Hobson owned the aquarium baths. We don't
Okay.
know how he transferred the 14-foot tiger shark alive. I assume it's not a far distance, but I still don't know how the hell he and his son got this giant shark alive to the baths. Now, at that time, Sydney sharks were the villain in everyone's story. In several months, 11 attacks had happened,
Wow.
and 5 of them were resulting in death on numerous South Wales beaches. They even started employing bounty hunters to kill the seemingly menacing creatures. Crowds would gather to see this shark up close and personal. In the first several days, the shark was active and had a voracious appetite. But on April 25th, Anzac Day, it began to act strangely. It appeared ill, slow moving, and disoriented. It even started running into the pool walls. Then all of a sudden, there was a great commotion in the pool. And while spectators watched, a putrid stench filled the air, and the shark vomited up a human arm.
Oh, oh no.
Everyone assumed that this was probably just another shark attack. But a medical examination of the arm revealed that it had not been bitten off by the shark, but it had been removed from the body at the shoulder with a knife or another type of sharp instrument. It was not cut in a surgical procedure. I assume that that means somewhat crudely cut off. In addition, a piece of rope 3 feet long was tied around the wrist by 2 half-hitch knots, and on the front of the arm above the elbow was a broad, straight wound. Now, the focus of the investigation had turned to murder. The gastric juices of the shark.
Stop it.
I will start that again. The gastric juices of the shark's stomach is highly acidic, and it was estimated that the arm could have been in the stomach for between 8 or 18 days. To quote an article that I read in Mental Floss, tiger sharks have a slow digestive tract. The arm could have been sitting in the animal's stomach for 18 days before it was thrown up. It's even possible the arm was inside the first smaller shark that Bert Hobson had caught before the tiger shark ate it, creating a very unappetizing version of turducken. I just love that so much. The name of my case was Shark Turducken, by the way.
Oh my, Erin.
I love it. Okay. Remember, folks, it is 1935 and we are still in early forensics. Now, even in the stomach acid, somehow this arm was well preserved, and so well preserved that you could see a recognizable and distinct tattoo of 2 boxers shaping up to fight on the forearm. Think very old-timey put-em-up fisticuffs pose. They immediately got this out in all of the newspapers with a photo of the arm, specifically the tattoo, in hopes that someone would recognize it. One day, a man named Edwin Smith contacted police, explaining the arm could have belonged to his brother, James, who had been missing for several weeks. And because it was so well preserved, police managed to obtain fingerprints that they were able to find from a prior arrest of James, and it confirmed that the arm belonged to James Smith, who I will refer to as Jim Smith from here on out. Adding to the mystery.
Oh my God.
Oh, Autumn, we're not even halfway through this.
Okay.
Adding to the mystery, 5 days after Jim had left home for the last time, his broken-hearted widow had received a telephone message. That message was delivered by a voice she had never heard before. "Don't worry," said the caller. "Jimmy will be home in 3 days' time." Then the caller hung up. Mrs. Smith had not the slightest idea that anything was seriously wrong. When Jim had left, he said he was going on a fishing trip, so there wasn't a worry that he had been gone away for a few days. Now, the departed Jim Smith was born in England in 1890 and was quite a colorful character, as he was described as a bankrupt builder, a former illegal bookie, and a boxer. He also had a small-time criminal record of quite a few minor convictions. Police investigators found that Jim had been drinking with his longtime friend and well-known expert forger, Patrick Brady, in the Cecil Hotel in Cronulla. They had then returned to a cottage later that had been rented by Patrick on the shore of Guanamata Bay. Police believed that Jim was likely murdered at that cottage. Alas, even after a search of the surrounding areas, Jim's body was never recovered. In their efforts to solve this case, police spoke to a local cab driver who told them that on the morning after Jim Smith was seen for the last time, his buddy, Patrick Brady, hailed a cab in Cronulla and asked to be taken to North Sydney, where the cab pulled up outside a house belonging to a middle-class businessman named Reginald Lloyd Holmes. The cabbie described Patrick as disheveled. He had a hand in his pocket and wouldn't take it out. It was clear he seemed frightened. Reginald was, to most, a respectable entrepreneur who ran a highly successful boat building business on the harbor at McMahon's Point on Lavender Bay. But respectable, he was not. He actually controlled a lucrative smuggling ring using speedboats built at his boat shed to pick up cocaine, cigarettes, and other contraband thrown overboard on the ships passing Sydney Heads.
A smuggler?
Uh-huh. Our victim was known to work on and off this enterprise and often drove the speedboats during smuggling operations. It was said that Reginald and Jim had a falling out over a failed insurance scam, and Jim may have been blackmailing Reginald using his status in society as leverage, because Reginald was very popular with people in the business community. He was threatening to expose him. This may have been why Jim's friend Patrick visited Reginald that day. These were great clues, but all circumstantial evidence and hearsay. Investigators needed more evidence and hopefully a confession. So the police arrested Patrick Brady and took him to the Central Police Station. Reginald was also brought in, but denied ever knowing either men. Suspicious when the cab driver confirmed he dropped Patrick off at Reginald's house. So clearly they did know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the case went cold, and that's where it ends.
What?
JK, just kidding.
Oh, I was like, oh no, too unsolved?
No. It went cold until early June, when one day Reginald left his boat shed in a very fast speedboat, sped out into the harbor, pulling out a pistol, and attempted suicide. He was unsuccessful, grazing his forehead, and he fell into the water. Luckily, a rope caught around one of his wrists as he fell, stopping him from drowning. The shock of the water revived him, and he crawled back aboard. The water police were alerted, and the shot was heard across the water. Then, for 4 hours, they chased Reginald, who sped out past Circular Quay through the mid-morning ferry traffic right down to Sydney Harbor until finally he gave up just outside Sydney Heads. He was arrested, then taken to the hospital to receive treatment for his wounds. It didn't take long for Reginald to flip on Patrick Brady, agreeing to be a witness against him. He told Detective Sergeant Frank Matthews that Patrick had killed Jim, dismembered his body, and put the rest of him into a trunk. Then he had been thrown in Gunnamatta Bay. He then claimed that Patrick came to his house, showed him the severed arm, and threatened him with murder if he did not receive...
Stop it.
Yes. Threatened him with murder if he did not receive $500 immediately.
Dang, $500?
In 1935.
Okay.
That would be close to, I think, $6,000 to $10,000 now.
Okay, because I was about to say $500, man.
Yeah. Reginald also admitted that after Patrick left his home, he traveled to a Sydney coastal suburb and discarded Jim's arm in the surf. The police then charged Patrick Brady with Jim's murder. What we know is that on June 11th, Reginald did withdraw $500 from his account late in the evening and left his home, telling his wife he needed to meet someone. He was also very cautious as he left his home and had his wife accompany him to the door of his Nash sedan. On June 12th, approximately at 1:20 a.m., just hours before the start of the inquest into Jim's death, Reginald's body was found slumped over the wheel of the car with 3 bullet wounds shot at close range to the chest, and he was left in the deserted dock area of Dawes Point. The crime scene was made to appear that Holmes had committed suicide, but forensic police had no doubts that he was murdered. After that, the Crown's case collapsed Without his witness testimony, the trial was done. It was over in less than 2 days, and the judge directed that the verdict of not guilty would be reached. Patrick Brady was acquitted and walked out of the court a free man.
Wow.
Here's a little secret, though.
Uh-oh.
There was more to Jim Smith than met the eye. It turns out that he was actually a police informant, known as a fizzer or fizzgig. I've never heard that before, but
Either.
he had informed on a young man named Eddie Wyman. As a result of the information that Jim had given the police, Eddie and one of his mates were caught red-handed raiding a bank. Though the crimes were never formally linked, the author Alex Castles offers the opinion that Eddie Wyman was actually the likely suspect of the murder of Reginald Holmes. Eddie was one of the most dangerous criminals in Sydney in the 1930s. Obviously, they would know each other because Reginald would have known him through his smuggling operation, and both of them knew Jim. This was a time when the underworld was populated by hard men who didn't hesitate to use violence to get what they wanted. And snitching to the police was an unforgivable offense to men like this. It is believed Jim was most likely killed for that reason, because snitches get stitches.
I was just going to say that. You said it before me.
Or they lose an arm. For the rest of his life, Patrick Brady maintained that he was in no way involved in the murder of Jim Smith. And he died at Concord General Hospital in Sydney on April 18th, 1965 at the age of 76.
Dang.
Although he did bring the arm to Reginald's house to shake him down. So I don't know about all that.
Yes, to shake him down for $500.
I think, in my opinion, this is not completely finished, but I think, in my opinion, that Patrick Brady and Eddie Wyman did this together. Anyway, to this day, the murder of Jim Smith remains unsolved. A quick side note.
Wait, you said...
I lied.
You little fibber, or I was going to try to use an Australian word.
Am I going to start getting stitches then?
Yes, you are.
So a quick side note about the shark, because I needed to know what happened to the shark.
Okay.
In late April 1935, soon after he vomited the arm, he became ill and was euthanized.
Oh.
A post-mortem revealed that the stomach contents were the other smaller shark, a few fish bones, and no other human remains. It still amazes me that of all the sharks in the ocean, that this one just happened to be captured, held in captivity, and threw the arm up in public.
What are the odds?
This did result, though, in netting being added to beach areas, and they didn't have another shark attack for over 20 years.
Wow.
My sources were dictionaryofsydney.org, Snopes, the National Library of Australia, the May 1935 issue of Truth newspaper in Sydney, and Mental Floss. Autumn, that's a shark arm, double murder, double shark catching. It's wild. When Tony brought this to me, I was sitting at the bar at the rink, and he came over and he's like, dude, I got to show you this. And I was like, send it to me right now. I'm going to do that. You had me at shark arm. Because it's actually called the shark arm murder, but I like Shark Turducken.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Right? I freaking loved it so much. I thought I was just uncovering more and more, and that he was an informant, and that all of them knew each other, and then there was a secondary murder to squash the whole thing. So my theory is, I think that Eddie found out that Jim had informed, and that's why he was arrested for the bank robbery. And I think Patrick Brady helped Eddie in some way, because why the hell did he have his arm? And then
why did he have his arm?
And I think to squash the whole thing, they killed Reginald. Well,
Makes
Eddie
sense.
killed Reginald because Patrick was in jail.
Oh,
And then the whole thing ended, and they all got away with it, except for poor Jim.
Poor
Jim. They never found his body.
I'm assuming it was a snack, a snicky snack.
Yeah. But I mean, of all the sharks in all the ocean. It's just insane that the man was fishing, caught a shark. That shark ate the other shark, and he still managed to reel it in and somehow was holding it in captivity. And then they found it. It's just wild.
Yeah. I mean, what are the odds?
What are the odds? It's insane. Anyway, I loved that one very much. RIP for Jim, but
Right. RIP victim,
yes.
you know.
Yeah.
We're sad. Sad.
It's very sad, but it's so fascinating. That one got me good.
Yeah. No, that was a great one. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, Tony. Anywho, I've done all the shout outs that I can outside of.
No, is there one coming? Another one?
Just a reminder to go to our Instagram and follow us, because I will post pictures of the severed arm and the actual shark that ate it. So
we might get flagged with the severed arm, so maybe not.
No, it's close up, so you just see the tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't see like the other part, but you can Google it. Just any other weirdos out there.
Right. I was going to say, anyone else likes dismemberment, go ahead and Google that.
It's also weird that it was like from the shoulder.
Oh, it's so weird. Everything is so weird.
So weird.
The whole story was so weird.
Isn't it? It's wild. It's wild, and it's completely true. And there's like a shit ton of photographs. There was a lot of information, which I was thrilled about, because I don't always get that.
No, that was a good one.
Yeah. So on our Instagram page, you will find all of that, as well as pictures from Autumn's case. Please do follow us. It does mean a lot. Review our podcast. Keep listening, and we will keep finding new, strange, interesting cases for you.
Maybe next week's will be solved. I don't know yet.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I prefer solved cases because I want a resolution at the end.
This is true.
At the same time, it is important to bring attention to the cases that are unsolved, because you never know who it's going to hit, like we've seen with so many unsolved mysteries cases.
Yes, and especially like DNA.
Shout out to Unsolved Mysteries.
My favorite show of all time.
If I say the word shout out one more time, I swear to God.
Shout out.
Okay, folks, we are going to get going, but thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate your feedback and all the nice messages that we receive. At this time, we are going to sign off and see you next week. Bye.